We're going to talk for a minute now about imports and about Python operators and Python comparisons. Let's look at imports. Any file with the .py extension can be brought into Jupyter Notebooks with the import module, and then we can run functions or methods from inside any .py file just in the same way that we did with NumPy and Matplotlib. What I did here is I just went ahead and created a file called respond, and inside that file there's this simple method here called print something. Print something takes an argument. It would be a text argument or whatever. I mean, whatever we put in there, it's just going to print it out and return it. Right? So it's a very simple function inside here. We're going to go ahead and access that the same way we accessed NumPy and Matplotlib earlier. Just going to import it. So we can import respond, and remember before I showed you that alias where we said import NumPy as np, so we didn't have to type the whole thing. Well, right here I could type the whole thing. I could say res. Well, actually I need to import that first or it won't be available. Okay, so now that I've got that in here, I can say res and hit tab, and there it is, respond. And then if I hit the dot and use tab completion, it's going to tell me the methods that are inside there to use. Well, here's print something. So let me click that, and then I'm going to go ahead and enter some text in here. Hello, dog face, pony soldier. So I spell soldier. Now if I run this, it's going to just send that back to me. And what it's doing again is it's going into this external file. Hello dog face pony soldiers coming in here, and then we're just printing it out. Now it does not have to be text. We could just put 5,000 in here and it'll send that back too. That's an int. Now we could do this as an alias too, print as rs, and then instead of respond, I have to actually run this again. Let me delete this, and then I can hit rs dot tab completion, and there's print something, and this would be with alias. Okay. Alright, so we've talked more about imports. Now Python operators and comparisons, we already used the minus operator. These are pretty straightforward. There's a plus and minus and multiplication and division. Now this is division to a floor. So like, for example, if you divide 5 by 2, you get 2.5, right? Well, the floor divide will drop the remainder, so you go down to your next lowest whole number, which would be 2. Here's raised to a power, so 5 to the second power would be 25. Okay, this is if A and B is true. This is if A or B is true. This is for booleans, or but not and. So if you're familiar with modern logic and truth tables, these are going to make more sense to you. There's equal to, not equal to, and this would be greater than or less than. We could flip it and be less than. This is greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Less than or equal to would look like this. Right, less than or equal to. We're going to just mention really quickly what scalar types and numeric types are. Any string is going to be a scalar type. A scalar type is any variable which holds only one value. So there are data types which can hold more than one value. We talked about lists and dictionaries and tuples. I don't think we talked about tuples yet, but tuples and sets. These are all data types, more advanced. We're going to talk about them below, but these are all scalar types, and there's one more scalar type. It's the date type, the date time type. And if you can use this very simply to get the date time right now of the year or the month or the day or the hour, even down to the second, and you can format them differently using the date time scalar type. And if you want to see more about that, just go here and look at that, because we're really not going to get very much into that right now.